Are you guys ready for next season? Now, you guys might be like, Brad, come on, man. We still got the playoffs. The season's not even over yet. Why are we talking about next season? Well, it's because we're starting to find out who the 49ers are going to be squaring off against. Now, obviously, we don't have the full schedule detailed or anything like that, but we are finding out the opponents. And that's an interesting part of this. Obviously, we are super rooted in what's happening right now in this season, but the 2024 season, of course, is going to be right around the corner. So we have some home and away opponents to look at and kind of talk about. So let's look at what the 49ers are slated to face off against next season. This is courtesy of Nick Wagner of ESPN. So let's start off with the home opponents, shall we? Now, starting off in division, obviously, we're going to play the Arizona Cardinals, Los Angeles Rams, and Seattle Seahawks at home. Not surprised. We split there every single year. So no craziness there. But when we get into the teams that the 49ers will first face at home, at least in chronological order of this list, is the Chicago Bears. So, as we know, the Chicago Bears have locked up the number one pick, and it's going to be fascinating to see if they stick with Justin Fields or go with Marvin Harrison Jr. in the draft. They have multiple top 10 picks, so it's going to be fascinating to see what Chicago does this offseason. I do think Chicago, they were keeping their head coach. They're keeping their head coach. Might sound like they might keep Justin Fields. And if they add some good quality pieces, Chicago could be one of the up and coming teams next year. Now, I think we thought that was going to be this year, or we've heard a lot about it and it didn't happen. But Chicago could be on the rebound next year. Justin Fields is playing well. Detroit will be coming to town, and we know Jared Goff will be a homecoming for him as a former Cal player. But we know that's going to be one of the top teams in the NFC likely next year. So that could have some playoff implications for that particular home game. Could we see another homecoming from a Cal quarterback in the form of Aaron Rodgers coming back to the Bay Area to play the San Francisco 49ers with the New York Jets? That's going to be an interesting one. Looks like we're going to see the Patriots. I was going to say Mac Jones and, Bill Belichick, but it sounds like their future's up in the air. So I can't even tell you what the Patriots are going to look like next year, but they will be playing at Levi Stadium. And this is the one that I'm really looking forward to. Kansas City. Now, we saw Kansas City back in 2022. They beat us pretty handily, and that was actually the first NFL game that Brock Purdy had ever played in. If you guys remember, he came in garbage time for Jimmy Garoppolo. So obviously that is going to be a huge matchup, and I would imagine would be a primetime game for sure. I mean, you look at a lot of these, they could be primetime. But the 49ers will face off against Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City at home. And then to top it off, you get the NFC East winner, Dallas or Philly. So whoever wins the NFC East will come to Santa Clara to play the 49ers. So I hope it's somehow Philly. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Dallas is at the top of the division. But I would love for Philly to come to us. We've gone to Philly last 2 years in a row. I would love for them to come and experience Santa Clara so we can give them a warm welcome. But that's it for the home games. Another interesting point about the home games from Nick Wagner is that it does sound like there is a ninth home game, but it's to be determined, which could be a international game. So maybe there is a chance that the 49ers maybe play in London. At least that's what Nick Wagner was speculating. So who knows? Maybe we're going to be making a trip to London next year. We could. I mean, the 49ers have been super active over there. I know they had a watch party in London this year, so we might be going to London this year, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll have to wait and see with that. But man, if the 49ers are playing in London, I think I'm going international. I got to go international. That would be that would be fantastic. Let's see. Now let's look at the away games. Which teams the 49ers will face on the road? Obviously, Arizona, LA, and Seattle on the docket. But it sounds like the 49ers will be going to Green Bay. That's a game I'm very interested in going to because I want to go to a game in Lambeau. So that would be a experience. Another game in Minnesota. So back-to-back years the 49ers playing in Minnesota. I actually was in Minnesota for that loss this year. Pretty quality stadium, quality town. I liked it. I actually enjoy Minnesota quite a bit. So the 49ers will be going back there. Miami. So dude, there's a lot of games here that are very enticing. Miami would be a great one to go to of course, go face off against Mike McDaniels and all those guys over there. Buffalo is going to would be a crazy one to go to as well. Obviously, with Bills Mafia and how they get into games, kind of experience their tailgates, all that type of stuff. And then the 49ers will face off against the NFC South winner, whether Tampa, New Orleans, or Atlanta. If I'm selfishly looking at where I want to travel to, I would say New Orleans. I would want New Orleans to win because Tampa, they're already traveling to Miami. So that check Florida off the list. Atlanta, I've heard mixed reviews about Atlanta, although the stadium looks immaculate. New Orleans, though, sounds like the destination that I would like to go to. So if I'm rooting for either NFC South winner, I'm going New Orleans. And if I'm rooting for NFC East winner, I'm going Philly, just for the simple fact of Philly coming to Santa Clara and the 49ers going to New Orleans next year. That would be my look at it. But what do you guys think? Who would you want to play out of those 2 or 3 possible scenarios? I want to hear from you in the comments below. But so what is your guys' overall takeaway on the 49ers opponents next year? Again, I'm so rooted in just what's happening right now that it's kind of like shocking to be like, oh man, this year's already almost over. And it's going to be over for half the league next week, while as the other half goes into the playoffs and goes on that hunt for the Lombardi. So other teams are making preparations for the draft and hiring coaches and doing all those different types of things. While again, our season, we're still thinking of it like, man, we got a solid month, 2 months left. But this is how it's shaping up. It does look like a tough schedule, though. I mean, obviously, looking at how the teams are assembled this year, Kansas City, Detroit, Miami, Buffalo, at the very top. So, and who knows what, all these other teams are going to continue to develop into beyond this year. So that's what the 49ers, home and away opponents look like. Some good ones on that one. And if you are a fan of traveling, this might be one of the best traveling schedules we've seen yet, which could include a London trip. So not bad, not bad. Let me know what you guys think. Are you going to go to any one of these games or try to? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.